Hi, how are you? My name is Costa Shapiro, and this is a video by CostaWorks. I'm a software engineering consultant. And if you don't know me, you're welcome to visit my website costashapiro.com/works. This is a sort of a new device network, and I'm not going to go into this. This has not one but many presentations to do for. I just wanna show you some pretty technology cloud, which is the which were used in the making of that self server. This is something like this. All right, so you may see this is some generic help for such a server, and for each component there is an option to provide command line interface. For instance, if we address the peering component, which transfers events or messages in between peer servers, for instance, we can list peers. We can list peers by invoking a peer. We can view a specific peer like this. We can edit a peer with this. And of course we can delete as well. Some comps have web interface. So let's see a web interface of a component named Kibana. So this is Kibana, and you can see the event that the comp logged that event. The event arrived in Elasticsearch, and Kibana is of course looking at that Elasticsearch and showing us that particular event. On top of that, we of course have a lot of crawler bots and stuff crawling a website. A website, costashapiro.com, is actually just another comp on my server. We'll talk about this in just a bit. This of course runs on the server, and the CLI tool for that self-server toolkit provides functionality to tunnel securely to localhost and use this web application in a one-user fashion. We're enjoying full security and full web functionality, of course. Yeah. This is the entire comp of Kibana. So basically, this is all you need to put a comp on a self-server. Note that the service must be named just as the project, of course, by convention, and you must also specify the networks or other components networks that this comp uses. So, for instance, this one uses index, which is of course Elasticsearch, and it belongs in comp name index. Yeah. So, on top of just putting comps or components or Docker compositions on the server and accessing them with CLI and web interface, this system provides a bare-bone, very low level, very minimal development environment. Actually, the whole system grew out of development environment because of my own needs. All right, so let's go, and I'll show you the development environment for my actual web server at costashapiro.com. All right, so what you see just here is a tmux on the server. Tmux is a terminal multiplexer tool. If you're not familiar, it is of course useful by itself. And this system, the GHLR system, brings up a separate tmux server or a separate tmux process for every project separately, and it runs it, of course, in a container on the same server. On top of that, it provides a two-way synchronization from laptop to client. So if I want to edit anything, if I want to edit something, I don't edit this on the server. I edit it in the convenience of my local editor, like so. So this is of course my Emacs running locally, and files here in this costashapiro.com directory are being synchronized to the server project directory, which is on the server is something like this: mount data proj costashapiro.com. This is the path on the server, and this is where the remote development environment runs. One of the things that I can run, for instance, is the script bindev, which is actually bringing up the development version of my costashapiro.com server. Alright, so this script also runs the test, and it brings up the development server, which of course you can run something like so. I just I don't have to do it, but I just exited the development environment. My development server of course keeps running on my self server, and here I can invoke something like this. And you can guess what this means. Yep, it brings the development version of the project that I'm right now in, which is costa-shapiro.com, and it brings the development version of the server, which you can see right here. Okay, and I don't think it can be confused. But another matter is to access something like this. So again, right now, yeah, let's put this just one moment aside. Let's finish with the development environment. The cherry on top of this development environment is, of course, internal and very straightforward capability to do peer collaboration through direct Git connections, of course. So if we go back in our development environment, first of all, you can see it takes only a few seconds to connect back to the server, bring up the development environment, and I'm not in the best internet place at the moment, but everything keeps running on the server, of course. And with this tmux, you can open another terminal within the same project session. All right, and this session will now keep running until you do something with your server. So you can do whatever with your laptop. In the future, you will be able to access this environment even from a tablet or whatever. So anyway, I'm now in this project. This is some project which happens to be costa-shapiro.com. Has some changes, some minor changes, but for instance, if I have a peer, let's see, which peers I have now. Yeah, John Doe, that's my friend John Doe. You know John? That's a cool guy. What I want to do, I'd like to share my project. I'd like to start collaborating on my project costa-shapiro.com with John Doe. What I need to do now? I need to do just two things, actually. Just two. First, I need to provide Joe with a development environment for to develop costa-shapiro.com in. So the way I do it, I run a command summon command and give it a reason peer. This is the command that brings up the host VM. This is the single command, and it uses the configured providers which I have configured in my environment, which is now DigitalOcean and Google Cloud, and also VirtualBox. Those happen to be all three. Those are providers currently supported, and the driver for each provider is really minimal. So you can support other cloud providers, other cloud VM providers with great ease. Just now the system supports these three providers. DigitalOcean, a great cloud VM provider, a Google Cloud, probably most advanced VM provider, and VirtualBox for testing and local craziness. So anyway, once I invoke this command, summon reason peer, right? This thing runs. I have to choose a provider. Now, if I press enter, what will happen? It will just start bringing that VM up, configuring, installing the comps, and stuff like this. And in the end, I will get a script. I will now cancel this, but in the end of running this summoning, I will have a script which I can just send to the peer that I want to share my project with, and that peer will have access to their own VM, which I just brought up just for them, and they will be able to develop in the same exact environment as me right away, whatever the project that I share with them, right? So basically one command just to bring the server. This command yields some installation script, a very compact and secure installation script, which I send to the other person. The other person installs the client and establishes the communication with their own self-server. They are of course connected, via peering connection. And the second command, which I must give in order to share my project, in order to start collaborating with someone, is git. So in the same fashion, I'm going to bring up a machine for a peer, or I already have a peer that I peered before. So when I'm bringing the peer machine up, obviously another new peer is created. And I use that peer to collaborate with. Now, alright, so for instance, if I brought my machine for collaboration up, I can use this alias here. That's it. What just happened? What just happened? The thing is, nothing much. There is just a remote configured with this Git repo, which just makes the John Doe's Git repo of this project fully transparent to you. And for them, if they respond with a similar git command on their side, they have a remote for you. How to name your remote, that's their business, obviously. But they can see all your repo. Any commit that you make on your repo, you don't have to pull. It's completely transparent between the people that you co-gitting your project with. Alright, so this is costa-shapiro.com, and of course my peer, if I share that with my peer John, they will get access to the code. They will never get access to the data. Alright, I want to show you something like this. So this is actually another functionality. It's not a big one, but it's pretty standard, so I thought you just see this. As an independent consultant, I had to bring my website up, of course, which you're still welcome to visit, costa-shapiro.com. And I have to do it like a business card, right? So for this purpose, I of course made a comp for my server, a comp for my self-server, which brings any comp as a website, right? Don't worry, you won't see my self-service IP, my virtual machines IP on the public, because of course that comp, which is called www, it is of course using Cloudflare to expose web apps running on the self-server on the cloud. So I initialize Cloudflare with some stuff. By the way, the secrets currently are not stored on the self-server. So if this server needs some credentials, it is initialized. Additionally, this is a topic for another presentation, of course. But you can see that I can initialize the web provider with the www comp of the soft server with this Cloudflare. And once I initialized it, or rather independently, or where I initialize it, I can also run. Oh shit! I can also run a command like this, which of course will initialize a costa-shapiro.com as a comp for the web with the Cloudflare web provider. All right. So this is www is a standard container name in the compose, which is used by that www.com to bring to expose this particular application to the public internet. One nice thing here that you may notice that there's another container running here. It's a bit wasteful, I know, but it's somehow elegant as well, because this container contains this container's config contains an environment variable Rails admin, which this container does not. So basically this container does not run admin at all. This instance of my server, which is by the way Ruby on Rails server, and don't ask, it's also another presentation. But this server, this process doesn't even include admin, and here this server costa-shapiro.com of costa-shapiro.com comp, it is not exposed to the world wide web, but it's exposed internally, like so. Oh no, sorry. No. I'd like to go right into that admin interface. And this is of course a passwordless admin for a totally secure passwordless admin running through a tunnel to a separate dedicated process for administration, for live administration of my website. All right, I think that's about it. I think that pretty much concludes. Yeah, if you site admin, yeah, my works, you can edit stuff here, and it will of course update everything right away there. About my video production, let's close all this. And even this, and even this, or this. Yeah, so video production. I managed to successfully implement 2 video production processes for 2 formats. So the first format is my cycling videos. Yeah, you can play just to 180. But this is actually 4K video production. So I actually just did a video of how I produce this in a nutshell. I take videos from here, from GoPro Media Library, which I have subscription to, and without any media on my local computer or anything, I just process the videos using ffmprb scripts on my server. That's how I do it. And the production video is coming right up, and I will show you how it's done there. Just the second format of the videos is of course this one, where you have several cams for fun, and you have a bit a more complicated script if you want to engage all your cams or all the other media sources or whatever. So the first format is taking my cycling videos, like so, and there's this script, ffmprb script. There will be links definitely, and the new version is coming up, which is even more wonderful than before, and it's actually optimized, a lot of bugs fixed, and heavy videos like the cycling videos, several hours videos are being rendered, no problem now. Just some computer resources. So the video production, well, I wanted to show you this, the other side, what I didn't actually show in that video. I made including some clips from that video here. Goes. But from the infrastructure point of thing, so one thing is if you have a gem like ffmprb or another tool like more basic ffmpeg. ffmprb is basically a wrapper around the ffmpeg tool, which is itself some aggregate tool with many libraries exposed inside, expose the interfaces inside. So ffmprb is good by itself, and you can, of course, you're welcome to integrate it in your application, but the infrastructure, as you may guess, video is pretty heavy, tens of hours rendered. So you, of course, can use this project, this ffmprb gem however you like. But if you have a soft server like me, you can just invoke a development environment on your server for that ffmprb, and you can run your experiments here. One of the experiments being this. For instance, this script of mine, cut rccu. So this is an experiment with a certain thing I just experimented with uploading to YouTube. I called it utabby, and I have written this script, cut rccu. Alright, let's see the script. Alright, so basically it just uses some compose file to run a script named cut join rcc urb. This script accepts another script. This script accepts a script like this for a cycling video, or a script like this, for a video presentation video like this. So you have a bunch of inputs, and you interchange between those inputs every few seconds using another script that I used to generate this script, which is afterward edited. And okay, you get in. I think you're thinking now, why wouldn't I give any interface to that? Yeah, you can provide interface to that. I'm comfortable with text files, but it is absolutely can be given a graphical user interface, and it sometimes should. All right. So this is a more complex script. It switches between the cameras. I also added some effects in some places. I also overlaid some stuff. With this script, I will be overlaying much more stuff for explanation. And I will copy this script. I will just copy it, and I will give it to a script like this, which will generate all the video, do the rewind, the annoying rewind effect, and otherwise render the whole video and upload it to YouTube, and you will see how it's done all together in a separate video. So thanks for watching this. I hope it's been interesting or even engaging. You, of course, are welcome to drop me a line at work@costashapiro.com.